Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for another new video. Now first things first, apologies for the lack of content over the past couple of weeks. That is because I've been on holiday. I've been down in Dorset near West Bay, which is where Broadchurch was filmed. Love it down there, been there once before and this was the second time. And whilst I was down there I got up to a couple of Doctor Who related things. Firstly, you may have seen already either on my Twitter page or on YouTube in my recent little video montage, some photos that I took of Doctor Who figures down in Dorset in different beaches like West Bay and then other ones as well like Lulworth, various other places down there. I posted them on Twitter, as I say, over the course of the stay and then did this photo montage, The Sea of Doom. And they include the newly released 13th Doctor figure, as well as the B&M 3rd Doctor and TARDIS set that I picked up on the way down to Dorset. So please check that out if you haven't already. It's a slightly different type of video to the thing that I'd usually upload, but I hope you enjoyed it nevertheless. Now also during this stay, towards the end of the stay, it was my 18th birthday. I didn't get many Doctor Who related birthday presents this time because it was more to do with uni things really that I'll need when I go to university in October. But one thing I did get was a very special, bespoke, custom-made TARDIS keyring. It's made out of silver, I believe, handcrafted or cast or whatever, and a very nice piece. Yeah, it was my parents' idea, they got it for me, and it's a great, addition to the collection and a nice thing to commemorate my 18th birthday. A very, very nice little item, really, really nicely made, and as I say, a really great addition to the collection. I also had a very special homemade birthday cake. It was in the shape of the Broadchurch cliffs, made to look like them, and it included some little Doctor Who style chocolate figures that my mum had used a chocolate mould to make, I think. Little Daleks that have been painted with edible paint, a little TARDIS, K9, I think, some robots and things that she'd bought as well. So that was very nice and Doctor Who themed obviously again. So a big thanks to my parents for both those items. But now for the main event of this video, location visiting. This is what I ended up doing on my birthday itself, so after I received presents and cake and all that kind of stuff, I went with my family to a couple of locations in Dorset in the vicinity of where we were staying. So the first place we went to was quite a minor location, but still one worth visiting. It's Stanton Court in Weymouth, and we were just passing through Weymouth, so we thought we'd drop into this one. It was used as the exterior of Gabriel Chase in Ghostlight, but the interior was, of course, studio sets, so this was the only location actually used in the story. And even then, it was only used as kind of plate shots interspersed between the main action inside the house in the studio sets. It was very, very brief, and it was also augmented in post-production. So I think there was an observatory added on the top, which isn't there in real life, and colour graded and made to look all spooky and haunted, etc. So there wasn't much to see when I went, but as I say, it was a nice place to go to, especially if you're just passing through Weymouth. You might as well stop by and have a look at that one. Now after this, we tried to go to Warmwell Quarry in Warmwell in Dorset, which was another location used in the same shoot as the Stanton Court one, when Ghostlight and Survival, I believe, were being filmed together. So they needed the exterior of Gabriel Chase and the exterior of the Cheetah People's planet in roughly the same location so they could travel from one to the other. And so they used Warmwell Quarry for this, and it also featured in The Greatest Show in the Galaxy earlier in 1988. Now, unfortunately, when we got to this location, we discovered it had been developed into a luxury housing estate named Silver Lake. So there was even less to see there. But, it was still interesting to stop by and see what had happened to the site. And it kind of shows, I suppose, the development of locations from when they were originally used to the present day. It was interesting to see that development, I suppose. The next location, however, we were much luckier with. It was Lulworth Cove, used in The Curse of Fenric, and it was used quite prominently in that story. The village stuff and the church, that was shot, I believe, in Kent, but the stuff involving the sea, so your stuff with the Russian soldiers in the boats, and the hemovores actually emerging from the water, that iconic scene. And then Ace's dive at the end of the story into the sea, and possibly some bits above the sea and the beach on the cliffs and hills as well. They were all filmed in Lulworth. And it's a while since I've seen The Curse of Fenric, I will admit. So I wasn't entirely sure which bits had been used. I knew roughly in my head, but I got some good photos anyway to compare shots from the TV show too. And I'm definitely going to give The Curse of Fenric another rewatch, just to cement that in my head and kind of get my bearings, really. Lulworth Cove itself was just stunning. A really beautiful beach, a beautiful location. It was so kind of wide, and the beach stretched out for miles around in this cove, circular shape, And there were lots of interesting little rocks and surfaces there, and landscapes for me to photograph my 13th Doctor doll. Loads of different stuff going on there with seaweed and big rocks and small rocks, etc, etc. And then there was one final location I went to the day after. Now, I just put my head in the door of this one because we were passing on the way back home, and I thought, you know what, I'll have a quick look. This was Athehampton House, which was used quite prominently in The Seeds of Doom, the Tom Baker story. Now, when I went here, as I say, I was short on time, but also there was a wedding on, so I couldn't have actually visited the house if I'd wanted to. But luckily, from the car park, kind of in between the gates, I was able to peek and, put my camera in there and get a couple of photos. And yeah, it was recognisable anyway. Again, The Seeds of Doom is a story that I've not watched recently, so I need to see it again. But it was pretty recognisable anyway, I think, from those famous shots of Tom Baker and Elizabeth Sladen, and also of the crinoid creature. So that was a nice one to end on, and definitely one that I'll try and visit properly, another time if I'm in Dorset again. And there are some other locations in Dorset as well, such as Winspit Quarry, which was used in Destiny of the Daleks. So definitely, if I'm in Dorset again, I'll do some more location visiting. But these were the ones that I managed to get to on this occasion. So thank you very much for watching. And before I end, I thought I'd mention a couple of things very briefly. Firstly, today, that is on the day of recording this video, in the morning, I recorded a collaboration with Miles Taylor of Tailored Vision. It's a Who Talks edition, and we discussed Doctor Who fandom in that. The highs, lows, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So expect to see that on his channel if you haven't already. I'll put the link in the description, probably, so you know where to find that if you don't know him already. And secondly, this upcoming Sunday, that is the 9th of September, I will be attending the VWARP convention in Manchester. Along with Miles, we'll be going around it together. So if you see us, say hello. If you fancy saying hello. If you don't fancy saying hello, then don't. I might even take along some photographs, little 6x4-inch ones, taken from my Sea of Doom video, my holiday shots, of the 13th Doctor doll, the TARDIS on the beaches that I visited. So I might take a couple of them just to give away for free. So if you see me, say hi, and I'll give you one if you like. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching once again. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been a bit of a mismatch of different things, really. But I hope you've enjoyed it nevertheless. So, thanks again for watching, and bye for now, guys.